And hello, Radan and everyone. This is just a short Neko video. It's definitely not meant to be a replacement video. I'm going to do proper Neko videos after I do the Nova video, but this is just a little fun one. I just thought I'd introduce it to you just for fun. So I'm going to play you a big ambient patch, which is going to be great. So I've booted up the machine here, and this is how it boots up normally. When you've got two screens connected, Windows normally boots down here, but it's booting up here now. So this panel lights up. This is a test. They light up everything on this panel just to make sure that it all works. Neko should boot up straight into the shell. There's no It doesn't stop at accounts or administrators or Radan or Open Labs accounts. That was all wrong. That does not happen. It's meant to boot up directly into the shell, and you're about to see that happen. It's going to, it just boots up. It's actually pretty fast. It doesn't take that long. That lights up again just as a last minute check. These lights come on too. And as you can see, there's a last minute M Fusion boots up here, but we're into the shell now. And we've got a touch screen here, so I can move the mouse around like this. I've also got a mouse connected, which is great. You can go to Windows anytime by pressing Utilities and go to Windows, and Windows pops up here. The shell remains here, but you can also go back to the shell at any time, of course. And there you go, like this. So I'm going to boot up a sound. I'm going to boot up Carson. I'm going to boot up what's called a sound effects patch. And Carson's booting up here at the moment, and it's doing very well. And it's going to boot up here. And anything that's on this screen, of course, can be dragged up here very easily. Carson takes a little while to boot up, but I'm just going to, because this monitor, this curved monitor that I'm using here is pretty nice and sharp and everything, as you can see, it's sort of a lot better. Now this is a sound that's not, this is not the patch that I'm going to play you, so I'm just going to reload the magnificent ambient piece or sound that I've made, and here it is here. So there are 8 synthesizers here, all 7 of them. 7 of them are muted. We're only hearing the first one, which is called Purity. And Purity's got a sort of a C sort of sound on it. I don't know why it is. This is just a bit of a weird thing, but Purity and Wazik Station, for some reason, don't remember the sounds that they should have. It's not a fault. I think it's just, I've just got to go into Purity and figure out how to save a patch. But I've actually created a patch in Purity, and this is what it is at the moment. But it's not what I want. The sound that I want is actually called Giant Ambient 2. So that's just Purity all by itself. So we can close that, and we're going to come to Wazik Station as well. That's an interesting sound, I agree, but it's not the sound I want, and I'm just going to open up this, and there's a fantastic pad sound here called Alien World, which is just gorgeous. Now all you're hearing there is Wazik Station, nothing else. So in order to hear all of these patches, I'm going to release every particular synthesizer now, and I'm going to give you the full blast. They're all synthesizers, so you can transpose this sound over many octaves. I'm going to put it down an octave, so we're down here now. So I need to explain something to you, and this is what I was talking about in my email. If we just look at purity alone, there's purity, right? If we just solo purity and I play one note, you're actually hearing there are 16 sounds within purity. It's a 16 layered instrument. That's a lot of voices. If we, for example, if I just pull up the silence sound here, for example, that we're hearing, here it is here. Silence, fantastic, mate. It's just analog to the core. Now, the thing is, silence, you can actually layer two sounds to make a sound, and that's what's happening here. And there's two oscillators in each part. So that's part A, you've got two oscillators, and part B here, you've got another two oscillators. So you can set up this. So if you start doing some calculations about what is actually involved, if you think about it, if you play one note here, you're hearing 16 voices from purity, just all by itself. You're hearing probably 4 to 6, 8 voices being tied up from each of these other instruments. So by playing one note such as this, we're effectively hearing probably anywhere between 50 to 60 voices being played at once, just with that one note. So what happens when I do a 5-note chord voicing such as this? Well, the answer to that, my friend, is anywhere between 200, 250, possibly 300 voices are being tied up with such a situation, just with a 5-note chord. So we're looking at 300 voices being involved. So as you can hear, the sound has a lot of release. So what happens when I take my hands off and those 300 voices are continually playing, and then I shift up into, say, a different key, and I play another 200 or 300 voices. This is what it sounds like. That, my friend, is there could be 500 to 600 voices being consumed just at that point. The CPU might reach 25%. I mean, it's a fast quad-core processor, but could you imagine 25% of this machine's power is just being devoted to creating the 600 voices that you need in order to do this? as you can hear, none of these voices are being stolen. In other words, there's no voices dropping out. So Neko is a ridiculous polyphonic sort of a beast. You or I wouldn't have one synthesizer in our entire collection. You wouldn't be able to make a sound that big with a single instrument that you own. You and I would have to probably MIDI 10 to 12 synthesizers together to even come close to a sound that huge. So just to think you can get all that out of just this one instrument is beyond belief as far as I'm concerned. It's just fantastic. Now, one thing I'm going to go now, but one thing you've got to watch out for is if you decide to shut down, you can shut down from the shell, and I'm about to do it. You need to save everything. You get no warning. It just takes no prisoners. It just shuts down, my friend, and that's it. And you can't stop it, and boom, it's out. So, as you can see, it's gone, mate. So there you go.